Um, what 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 is something to look for on the newer cars that don't have too much in the back, front wheel drive?
Something sagging, uh, a sagging rear end. We don't like that. We like them firm.
Yeah,
We're not talking about your girlfirls, Brian.
We
We're
don't
talking
even want
about
sagging
cars.
rear ends.
We don't like
know,
sagging rear ends.
Well, with a new car, you're going to be all right. As they start getting a little age on them, it's rust. Rust and rot is the big thing.
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, I've replaced a fairly good amount of stabilizer links, the new style ones that are sealed, and they look good. They don't look like they're falling apart, but they're bad. That's pretty common. And a lot of the torque arms on the bottom, like my daughter's RAV4, I had to do them on both sides. It's just a flat bar with a bushing on each end. But when they go out, you can't align the rear end, and it does take a four wheel alignment. So those strut rods.
I mean, even like I said, you know, when I it was just actually before we came on here, Brianna was going over to her boyfriend's, and I said, I want to look, I want to check your car this weekend, and she's like, oh, well, I'm going up to, she's dog sitting my sister-in-law, so she won't be home. And like I said, right before she left, before coming on here, I walked out and just walked around the car, take a look. Like I said, you're looking for anything wet, shiny, rub marks. But like I said, just even running your hand across the top of the tire, because you could feel, you'll feel a feathering or a roughness or even a cupping type thing.
Yep.
And that, okay, well, we got a shock issue, or we have an alignment issue, or we got something that we need to look at. And you don't have to be, a real rocket scientist in this. That's why I used to tell my customers, they would say, well, I don't know anything about this. I just get in and turn the key.
Right.
And I would just say, well, if you see something wet, if you see something shiny, or if you smell something that, that's not, that wasn't normal, right there and there, that, okay, we need to talk to somebody, or have somebody take a look at it.
I had a guy tell me once he thought he had a brake fluid leak. And I said, really? I said, why do you think you have a brake fluid leak? And of course the correct answer would have been low or spongy pedal, no pedal, whatever. But he says, well, no, because I checked the fluid and, it was lower than it should be in the reservoir. So I added some, and in another couple months it was low. Well, no, it was just his brakes were wearing, so the brake fluid was, I know it was that. I said, do you see it on the floor on you? I said, you realize brake fluid is like blood. It's super, super important, but it's in a sealed container for the most part. And if you ever see it outside of its system and container, like blood, that's when you worry. I said, because it should never be outside of its container.
Right.
And he says, no, there's no leaks. I said, well, you don't have a brake fluid leak, But then, of course, there's the cases like I seem to get lately, the cars that leak brake fluid from the master into the booster, and you never see that one because it gets sucked in. So, barring that, so I explained to him how as the pistons, as the brake pads wear, the pistons come out and the fluid replaces the space. So he was happy about that. But I said, yeah, be careful, how you say that, you don't have a brake fluid leak. But that's why when I was down in North Carolina, I knew my daughter had her oil change done, which made me cringe because they went to like a 10-minute oil change place. So I actually checked to see if there was oil in the car. There was. But I was on a regimen of rotate the tires when the oil's changed. So I asked her, did they rotate the tires? Did you ask them to? Oh, I don't remember if I did or not. Well, do you think they did it? No, I don't think they did. I said, okay, good. The bad part is you're past the mileage that, it's not a hard and fast rule when to rotate your tires. A lot of people have different, I just say do it when you change the oil, because if you're doing that on a 4,000 or 5,000 mile rotation basis, that's kind of a good interval for rotating the tires. So, I got out the old scissor jack down there, and I'm lifting this thing, trying to find like I'm looking at the car on the side, like trying to find the midpoint, but I know I got pretty close. And I said, you know what? It was a pain in the ass doing it in a garage, but luckily I brought my really nice Matco red 21 millimeter socket. I brought a breaker bar and I brought my torque wrench.
Well, you live on the edge because you with the scissor jack, picking up both sides like a pit crew. Is a piece that right there. Gets you get the golden trophy on that.
Well, like I said, I had no other choice. Hey, if she had it flat on the road, that's what you're going to use is that stupid scissor jack. I mean, you're not going to use it in the middle, obviously, but but really, what I wanted to do was get those wheels off because I wanted to look at. I wanted to get a look at the brake pads, and I brought a good Matco light with me, so I had my good light source. I wanted to look at the pads, look at the hose, look at all that stuff that I just said. I wanted to get a look because I don't know if they hit something on the road. You never know what happens, so you don't know until you see it. And now being like almost 700 miles away, I don't get to look at it every other week.
Hey Terry, what you
said. Coach, I saw him on Yankees at 5. He's the new batting coach.
But the one thing you did say that you got to watch out for, and a lot of people have this problem, your stabilizer links or your strut rod links on the back or whatever. A lot of times tow trucks hook to those and bend them.
Oh yeah.
And they could tweak it a little bit, and you may never notice it right offhand, but you're like, well, why am I going through tires, or why is the tire sitting? Why is it tracking funny? I mean, there's little things.
It was one time I happened to be behind her. We were going somewhere, and I noticed the one wheel was just out a little. I said, she needs an alignment. That wheel is out. And my wife's like, what are you looking at? I'm like, look at the wheels. Look at this one straight. Look at the other one. It's cambered out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And when I got it into the shop, that's when they told me, no, we need this lower strut rod. We can't. And I had to get it from Toyota, no less, too. But I said, all right, give me back. I'll get the rod. I'll change it, and I'll bring it back in. But, yeah, well, they hook to anything. I mean, they just throw the hook under, and whatever it grabs, they don't hook. It's like throwing a line out in the ocean to catch a fish. They just throw it under there, and whatever it grabs, bang.
That was like when the first time I went on a repo job. The guy asked if I ever repoed a car, and I said no. And he goes, "All right, you just take this hook and you throw it up under there and pulled it, and it went right through the radiator. And we dragged that car right down the road. So I mean, it was tough.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do it that way. That's what I was going to say.
Well, the funniest part about the whole thing is Jim, the guy that I went with, and he was like Barney Rubble. He was shaped like Barney Rubble, and no neck, and he smoked Pall Malls, and they were so packed that the ashes never fell. So he would just keep it in his mouth, and he's talking, and the ashes are hanging out like this when he's talking. Oh. I walked around like this trying to catch them, because it drove me crazy. But as we were going, he goes, now when we come up here, just throw that hook up underneath there and throw it on the boom, and we'll re-secure it down the road. And I said, okay. And he slows down, doesn't stop. He slows down, and I jump out. And as soon as I say, I got it, he takes off. And my fat ass is running after the tow truck and the car with the dragging down the road. So I said, Jim, why didn't you stop? He goes, in case we got shot, they're going to shoot you first. I was like, oh, my God, I don't know if I want to take this line of business here, It's tough being a repoer.
That's why they came out with the self-loaders.
And it was just a video about a week ago. I don't know if one of you guys sent it. I know I saw it, and I think I forwarded it out. It was a black dude. He's in the tow truck, the self-loader, and this guy was good. He pulls up on a block. He sees the car in it looked like an apartment building or whatever, and there was a guy outside too. It ends up the guy was the car owner. He backs that truck in, lowers the boom down, backs right up past the guy. Bang, catches those wheels, raises it. The truck was, and as he was putting the truck in drive, it was like one fluid motion.
Yeah. You know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, he's popular. He's famous.
He grabbed it, hooked and booked, and the guy was like, hey, man, that's my car. Like, not anymore. Like,
that's what I've missed the most of repoing is the actual
getting shot at.
The car. The rest of it I can leave alone, but just
Yeah,
snatching the car was the best.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something.
That's awesome.
I went to a repo conference down in Florida, and I met the guy that invented the self loader.
Uh-huh.
And he was telling us that I don't know if I told the story before, but him and his buddy were repoing a car, and they had the old sling type where you had to get out, put the chains on, and a lady came out and stabbed him in the back.
Oh man!
So he said either we got to find a way to do this safer or find another job.
Right.
So he said the first thing they did is they cut holes in the cab of the truck and ran wires back to the arms.
Right.
So they pulled the PTO back up. He said they pulled one switch, the lift dropped, pulled another switch, dropped, wrapped around the tires, pulled another switch, they hooked it, and he said it all worked out with all these cables going through the bed.
Yeah, that was the prototype. Yeah.
So he said the first time they used it, they couldn't even drive. They were laughing so hard that it worked.
Yeah, my buddy at the shop bought one. It was a truck that was stationed at Starrett City because there's a lot of underground parking and it's tight, and it's a short bed tow truck with the self loader, and they were saying like they'll get cars out of 90-degree spots. They'll pull up to 90 degrees, they'll make that car turn and out. Yep. So
you can back up to a car that's parallel parked.
Right.
T-bone it.
Yeah.
And that lift will wrap around, and you lift it up and pull straight out.
And that's why he bought it, because it has that mechanism on it. And and he has it. He's got it sitting in the yard. He hasn't used it, but he just bought it because it's a cool piece of trivia. It's a cool piece of
it's no joke
history.
Yep. They're expensive though, and back when I was repoing, it was early or from 87 to 2006. I repoed in the trucks, man. Those self loaders, they're back then they were $70,000. Easy.
Wow.
Wow.
Oof. I'll tell you a funny story. Before I went down south, that Saturday before, we had to go to Jersey to pick up this other Mustang project that I'll be working on now, the 66. And I go with my buddy owns the shop, and I get in the truck. I'm like, hey, we hit the flatbed. I'm like, this truck had a back seat, didn't it? He goes, no, man, that's the other one. He goes, we just bought this one. But of course, they did the same graphics on it, all, so you can't tell from the outside. And his son wanted to buy a gas truck because all the other ones are diesel, but he wanted a gas truck, so he bought this one. It ends up it needed PTO work, it needed all sorts of hydraulic work, $1,500 for this, $1,000 for that. They had it all done. So we pick up the car, chain it down, strap it, everything's cool. As we're getting on 80, he heard the chains rattling a little bit. He goes, you know what? I gotta stop. I gotta just check those chains before we hit 80. And so we're just onto the entrance ramp. It's a very, very slight downhill. He goes, looks, he secures it, gets back in the truck, and he can't get it out of park into drive. He's like, oh shit, I can't believe it.
The tail cable broke.
Well, no, they already had they had a history. The truck, they've only had it a little while, but the tow truck driver parked it on the driveway apron, and then they couldn't get it out of park. If that truck is loaded to the front, you got to set the parking brake. So Mike, when the tow truck driver did that, he's in there playing with. He actually moved the handle so hard he broke it. He goes, I already broke the first one. He goes, we can't do that again. I'm like, so what are we going to do? How are we going to push the thing backward, with a car on it? So he says, what I'm going to do? I'm going to lower the tongue in the back. I'll make the truck lift itself. We'll get the wheels off the ground to maybe change the distribution. He goes, you work the shifter. Well, it wasn't working. We couldn't get it high enough. So now, and cars are passing us, guys. We're on an entrance ramp to 80, high 80, right? So we're taking stuff off the side of the road, pieces. Me again, like with the jack, I'm finding pieces of wood, pieces of stone. I found a big hook that was off the sheet. And I found a nice big hunk of slate. Put that under. We finally built enough that's lifting off the ground and put the damn thing in. Now I'm sitting in the cab and I got it in neutral, and we had to do the old 58 to get the driver's seat.
All right, who's
I was watching some videos. I don't know what they're watching.
That ain't me.
What's up, gentlemen?
Oh, that was you, Terry. What are you watching?
What?
Something murder or something?
No,
Oh,
they're making
TikTok
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the voiceover of Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we got the car home, unloaded it, everything was fine. Terry, good video with your son. I like it. That's excellent.
knocked it out of the park.
Very good.
He's surprised. It's surprised that I was talking to Luce about that, and he was just like, I was doing some video for the truck, just doing some content, and he goes, "Daddy, yo, I want to be on one of your videos." I was like, "Do something." He goes, "Okay, give me a second." Got the bat. He said, "Get the cameras rolling."
Yeah.
Threw the ball up, crushed it. I was like, "Boom." Okay.
Nice.
But then I had to go get it though, because it was the next block over.
Oh, wow.
It was the next block over. It was a wiffle ball. I was like, I don't think I ever hit a wiffle ball that far.
Wow, that's flying, man. That's good.
Hey, he says he went to baseball now, so I'm just like, okay, so whatever, whatever he wants to do. Yeah.
Very good.
So, I was like, this is a lucky shot.
Ah,
Did it again.
can you do it again?
He did it. He did it 4 times.
Tell me when you want me to stop, Dad.
You need to put a string on that thing.
Basically,
Yeah.
really.
We're going to get a net.
Yeah.
Exactly. Enclose the
enclose
backyard
property.
and the net, and you can have like a batting cage.
A golf course, like a driving range.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good.
So, I'm very proud of the boy.
Yes, you should
Even
be.
though he's not going to bed, you need to get your butt in bed.
There you go.
It's like, are you talking about me? Yeah, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
Just bring him on the show. He could hang out with this one.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not. He's got to carry his butt to bed because he's hard to get up in the morning. He's like, he gets that from his dad too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You don't have a problem getting up in the morning, do you? Yeah, sure.
So,
Suspension.
Go ahead,
can you
Joe.
guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure because I got a new headset. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Makes my hair look better, I think.
Fuller. Yeah, Fuller.
Yeah. I do have a question, though.
Okay.
This is about body panels. So you have AMD that sells the bedsides, complete bedsides for the Chevy Square bodies.
Mhm.
And then you have Early Classic Industries that sells the exact same looking bolt-on bedsides. I'm just curious, is AMD having these stamped by someone else and Early Classic is doing the same and they're just selling them that way, or?
Probably.
Well, you got to wonder how many people would invest in the die.
Yeah.
I would say they're probably getting from the same place. I think AMD does dye their own. They do make their own panels.
Yeah, I know that on a lot of their stuff they do. I was just curious if anybody knew anything about the bed panels, because you can call AMD and ask them, did you have this stamped with your own stuff or did you get it somewhere else? And they just dodge around the question. So I'm like, that don't sound good.
Well, the key part is, do they fit and do they work?
Well, see, Stacy David, he did 2 C10 trucks, both 67. One of them's the Copperhead. He bought the entire bed kit from Early Classic Industries for both trucks. And when they were bolted together, he did have to take a file and file out some of the bolt holes, to get it lined up good.
Mhm.
But other than that, they look beautiful on the trucks. So the other reason I wanted to ask is, see, Early Classic Industries has the same looking bedside for $450 plus truck freight. That's per side. And then AMD has the same identical looking truck bedside for $650 plus truck freight.
Yeah, but
So
no, wait a minute. Why would they look different if they're bedside for the truck?
no, they don't look different. They
No,
look.
why
Oh,
would
go
they look
ahead.
different? You know what I mean?
Right. I understand what you're saying. They just
Should.
in the pictures they just look
Well,
like they could pass
that all
as the same company's stamping them.
that all depends what stock picture they grab to throw on there. It could be, just
Yeah.
generic.
Yep. I've had that happen too, where you get some panels from one company and some panels from the other, and you just the stamps aren't as crisp. Some of the lines are just
Yeah.
not quite the right spot, but
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they could use a generic picture, so
Right.
you're not even getting what you're getting. So I mean,
Right.
that's another problem. But again, and then you have, unfortunately, I run into this problem a lot. Okay, and I'm not going to try to beat this up too much, but there is one manufacturer that will make a tool for multiple places.
Right.
Okay. And there's
Yeah.
not that many manufacturers in the first place, but
Right.
there's a manufacturer and they make a tool and they stamp it with Matco and they sell it to us. They stamp it with Snap-on and sell it to Snap-on. They stamp it, sell it to Cornwell, and they sell it to Cornwell. Mac, on, Craftsman, the whole 9 yards down the road. But somebody in a white truck with little red letters will sell it for $1,000, where we will sell it for $700, and the guy thinks that one is better because it's more money.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, there's a couple reasons for that, and obviously, I think we know what it is. There's perceptions, but see, if the tool companies set it up front, if it was known, like a lot of people don't know that. So
Right.
if people did know that it was somebody else's tool just rebranded, then I think they would shop a lot. They would shop by price a lot more.
No, you're absolutely true. It's once again, we've talked about this a dozen times, Ray. It's a great marketing department, and everybody thinks that everything that Snap-on makes, that they make it, and it's all USA,
Exactly.
and it's not.
Exactly.
And
I blame the tool companies themselves because everybody is kind of keeping their own secrets close to the vest. But
just like he was saying when he called and asked about the body panels, they're dodging the question instead of just saying, "Hey, look, this is made from so and so," because they might know that you're, especially in today's world, we have this problem like Mastercool. A good example is the hydraulic brake line kit.
Oh,
right. The big kit that makes hydraulic brake lines. It's X amount of money from us, but if you buy it directly from them in the Mastercool name, you're saving a couple $100. Right. And like I said, unfortunately, in today's world, all you gotta do is Google it or shop it, and they're going to have that problem. That's why they're not going to give you that information or go wherever Jody went. But unfortunately, that's. Sometimes some people will buy just because it's more money because they think it's better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And here's another thing too. You got to go with the companies might have the same product, but customer service is better in one company and not the other.
And just like Brian said, forever, which is a very big factor. If you have a tool guy who you see every week, it pays for you to throw in with that guy because he's your regular customer. You're going to see him. You have a relationship. A store is another thing. Now, there's a guy on YouTube who did a comparison. He did 2 of them recently, and he compared Snap-on, Icon, Matco, and Gear Wrench. But his real thrust was the Icon stuff because Icon now has copied pliers that are like, and Knipex copied them dead nuts, perfect, and he's trying to do a good test. I didn't do destructive testing or anything, but by looking at these things, you can see how they look dead nuts. I mean, but like
Yeah.
Icon, they did change maybe the jaw curve a little. They changed the handle just to stay safe with patents and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
had asked the guy too. I said, I mean, I flat out told him, I said, look, I can get these bedsides at Classic Industries for $450 a pop. I said, do you price match to keep business over your way? And they said, well, we can't go that low. I'm like, all right. So I don't know. I think I'm going to bite the bullet because I'm ready to break out the credit card on this truck. I just pulled it around front today. It's out in front of the shop. Tomorrow's going to be up in the 70s. I did get time. See, I knew buying this truck that it had been in a head-on collision in 1987 and that some framework had been done to the passenger side. Well, today I was able to really do some inspection on that frame. That frame is toast. I cannot use that frame. The passenger side, you can see how they pulled the frame rail back out and then welded it and put a gusset
yeah.
on the inside part of the frame rail. But then when I walked to the end of the driveway and looked back at the truck, you can tell that the front bumper is shifted up to at least 3 inches
Wow.
to the passenger side. It's not centered where it should be.
That's a
You
lot.
need to do the water test. Spray a little water and drive through it and see how all tires are tracked.
Yeah, the front frame horns are skewed. That means.
Yeah, well, I have a donor truck out back, and I'm going to go out tomorrow and inspect that frame. If it looks good, that's going to be the cab that's on that frame is going to be sheet metal that I'll take for the repair the roof and stuff. But I'll pull that cab off and just use that frame instead.
Joey, I had another thought before we get off the topic totally about the price of those parts. I remember many years ago I was buying parts for my Pontiac because I had some money, and I think it was when I bought my. I was dealing with inline tube or stainless steel tube. I was going to buy all the stainless steel brake lines and stainless steel braided hoses and all the whole spaghetti. And it also happened to me with an MSD, and they gave me their price on their line. And then when I said I wanted the hoses, they gave me a price, and I had priced them around. So I said, wait a minute, I saw them, cheaper through Summit. And I said, do you price match or whatever? And he told me, he said, he says, we do make these hoses. He goes, and we sell them to our distributors to sell to the public. He says, we sell them for more money because we want you to go to our distributors and patronize them. So he says, I'll sell them to you, but I got to sell them to you for more money. So he said, if you go to Summit, he goes, not only will you save some money, you'll be helping them out. And I had the same thing happen to me with an MSD ignition. So maybe it's a situation like that where they give the other place a price.
Yeah. And I think when I called Classic Industries, early Classic Industries, they didn't have a problem telling me who stamped those. I think they said it was like Dynamark or something like that.
Okay.
I think is what they said. But I'm going to call. See, Terry, you'd given me a name of the guy there at AMD. The guy that does the marketing stuff. Was it you that gave me that name for that guy?
I'm not sure, but the guy Jason is
Jason. Yep. Yeah. You gave me his name and I called, left a voicemail for him like 2 or 3 months ago and gave him my email in the voicemail and never heard nothing back. So
keep trying. The boys are busy. Keep trying. That's all I can say.
And it's good that they're busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and they just got through. They was up there with Tyler up in well, I don't know if they were in camp. No, they
Yeah.
no, that's what it is. I'm wrong. They supplied the sheet metal for that charger.
Oh yeah, yeah, yep,
They supplied that sheet metal. I was there. I was at Tyler's shop, actually Ray's shop, when they were putting it
yeah,
together. And like I said, man, I mean, Lou will
yeah,
tell you if you if you walked in, the only way I knew that car was a Ford was because the hood was off and it was a 4.6 engine. You know, those
yeah,
that's it. If that hood was on, I mean,
yeah. I think that's
that Crown,
amazing how they take those Crown Vics and those
that
panels,
Crown
everything
Vic,
Yeah.
it's
just
less than
line
a half.
up perfect.
It's less than a half inch long. I mean, so
Yeah,
it's a perfect platform for
yeah.
those charges. And so yeah,
Shame all
so
that
AMD
sheet
was
metal.
definitely in the house. Yeah,
It was
Yeah,
funny on that video on the with General Lee. I was reading those comments, and those people were like, "What are you, stupid? That's not a Crown Vic. That's a Charger." And they're
we had to.
cussing these guys get in a whole bitch fest, and I'm like, God, I mean,
yeah,
just people can't take. First of all, they can't take the 30 seconds just to read the thing, or
That's
at
too hard.
least try to understand. Of course, the perception of what you see is, that's like you said, the
yeah,
internet can't be wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's on the internet. It can't be wrong.
yeah. Terry, if you don't mind, can you share that guy's last name with me again? It's Jason something. I wrote
You know
it
what? I don't.
down.
I really don't even know what his last name is.
Okay, just call and ask for Jason. Okay.
Jason. Yeah, he's the only one there.
Yeah, I
He's the
will
only one
try
there.
again tomorrow. I would love to just know. I mean, if they're stamping on themselves, then I know they're going to be perfect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
But if they're
you
getting them
know,
from the same place,
because I
as
tell you
Just
that
tells you how
those
old the die is.
yeah,
yeah,
Right.
the Cuda. I can only go find the Cuda in the truck. The Cuda. I mean, it's just like. I mean, you've seen the videos.
oh yeah, yeah.
Those
Well,
are
I've watched.
like just beautiful. I mean, they fit beautifully.
Yeah, I've watched my buddy at Rust Bucket Restos resheet metal a 68 Charger, and these panels were going on just like they came off the assembly line at Chrysler. You know. Matter of fact, Lewis, you should try to get him on here to interview him. His
You have
channel
his
name
contact?
is on Instagram is all. It's Rust Bucket Restos.
Okay.
He's originally from Chardon, and his job transferred him out to Ogden, Utah. And
Wow, Ogden.
he took that Charger with him, and since then he's added a 71 CUDA to his arsenal and I think it's a 70 satellite or something like that. He calls it the Ratty Satty, and he uses that for drag racing and taking his kid to school. You know.
If you could text that to me, remind me. I'll try to hit him.
Yeah, I think he would be great for being on the show. And another one I've been trying to get him to give me his contact is Gibson 6.3. That guy, he is in love with those old C10s, and he's rebuilt like 3, 4 of them on his channel already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
They're hot trucks. Hold on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Both. His truck was his high school truck. The first one he did was a '63, and then his brother bought a blue one. I think a '64 is what it was. And then his brother, mid restoration, decided he didn't want the truck. And he didn't do a full restoration like he did on his high school truck. He just went through and fixed and patched all the rust up the right way. And then redid the suspension, lowered it, added a crate engine, and gave that to his dad as a Father's Day gift. And now him and his dad go cruising together down there in Tennessee.
Nice.
And now the one he's on is another '64 black step side that is shaping up to be just as beautiful as the other two.
When I was doing all my sniper homework, when I was doing my conversion in my car, I came across a guy that had a C10, and he had converted his, and he did a bunch of videos, and he was a real Kind of down and dirty guy. I wonder if that was one of those guys.
I don't know. He's a real good homebody type boy. He does construction, framing, house framing.
Yeah, this guy was
Um,
somewhere.
yeah, his name is Jason Gibson or something like that.
Yeah.
He's from down there around Nashville.
Yeah, it's like a year ago now, so I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a beautiful red fleet side truck. All the chrome, and he's got the chrome, how it gets wider as it goes to the back of the truck. He's got that one section painted white like it was in the factory.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous truck. He did the entire thing in his garage out behind his house. It's amazing. Yeah. And that's just, well, I'm doing the same thing with my square body. I'll be doing it all right here in the driveway and in this shop.
Yeah.
So if I could, I'd move my restoration shop to the other garage, but you can't get in there because you got a 29 Chevy coupe sitting in there and another 29 Roadster sitting next to it.
Whose are those?
The coupe is mine. The Roadster is my cousin's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice pair.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The Roadster one belonged to his dad, my Uncle Tom. And he parked it when we were kids. He would get us in that thing. And, I mean, these doors, you know how they are. You hit the wrong bump, the door flies open.
Yeah.
He's out in the front yard doing donuts with us in that truck. The door would fly open. He'd grab us by the neck or the shirt collar, hold on to us while we're going in donuts.
Right,
like,
right.
Oh. Thought we were going to die in the front yard. It's better than the backyard.
Yes.
All right, guys, time for me to bail.
So long, Jim.
Take care, guys.
All right, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, take care.
Yeah, I got to get rocker panels for mine in cab corners. I was looking
Oh, what year is that thing you got?
06.
Go to Facebook Marketplace and type in the year and the make with rocker panels in there. There's a guy I just saw a couple of days ago. He cut the entire rocker, inner and outer rocker, and part of the floor pan out of rode over wrecked trucks from those years that are in perfect condition. All you got to do is just cut all the spot welds out, pull that panel off, and then pull your old one off, put it on there, and boom, it'd be factory. And probably cheaper than buying them aftermarket.
So, Marketplace, where's he out of?
I didn't click the link, so I don't recall. If I see it again, I'll post it in the Facebook group for the planning traffic and tag you in it. Yeah, but yeah, he had a whole bunch of them laying there. He's probably got what you need, but I don't remember where he was at.
You need a Cadillac roof, Lewis.
Yeah, I need a Cadillac roof. You got a caddy roof in it laying around?
What year?
77 to 78.
I don't. Got 259s.
Yeah.
But one's a
Couple years
2-door and one's a 4-door. That's about the only thing left that's good on it. It would be the roof, but it's probably getting real thin.
So let me show you how my luck is. I had a tree fall in my yard, and wait a minute, let me pull it up. I don't know how close, how you can see this, but
yeah, that would cringe. I would cringe if I walked out and saw that on
You don't want to breathe on it.
listen, it just missed the caddy, but one of the branches grabbed the tarp. See the tarp sticking up on the hood?
Yeah.
So my luck, it couldn't fall on the caddy, so I can get an insurance policy going. But
yeah.
So why do you need a roof for?
When I
rusted?
bought it, no, when I bought it, it looked like a tree fell on it. It has
Oh.
a couple dents, a couple of dents.
Well, there's your picture. I know
Yeah.
we're live. Let's go off for a minute, and I'll show you how we Photoshop that in there. See,
Yeah.
that
You already
damage
got
was
it,
done when that happened. But
Well,
unfortunately, like most insurance companies, that's an act of God, and that's not covered. So good luck. So
yeah, and two, you can just cut the roof off, ship it to Arco. He can fix all that sheet metal and send it back to you and just weld it back on.
That might be a plan. But I sure can't find it.
Or Mr. Sheet Metal Terry here could probably knock it out.
I got skills.
He took a dead car and brought it back to life. It's looking good.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos. So,
Yeah, he's not messing around with it. He's putting in.
is that an AAR one or just CUDA? 71 CUDA?
No, it was a 73 start out life as.
73, I got you.
So I figured, being that most of those panels got to be replaced, might as well replace them with the proper panel of a 70.
I was going to say you went 70 because, see, I like how Stacy David did that. He took that 81 Z28, changed that rear panel for the tail lights to work for the 70 Camaro tail lights, and then he did the front with the hood and the radiator core support and nose piece, all that, and then the window on the 81, how it wraps around.
Wraps around. He sealed it up.
Well, yeah, he cut that out, and he got the window trim or framing from, I think, maybe AMD or Early Classic Industries, and put that in, and then filled those empty spaces where the window used to wrap around.
Mm-hmm.
You'd never know.
That's what I'm saying. They're not that far off.
That was
so I figured
maneuver.
Yeah, the chassis jump. Yeah.
His pitch on that was. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I figured it's either going to be a 70, 71. I had a 71 in college, and I do remember wishing it was a 70. 70 is my year. I like the 70 between the two. I mean, don't get me wrong, 71's a nice car too.
Oh yeah.
But I think the AER CUDA, if I put it this way, the year's 1970. Let's say the year is 1973, and I'm in the market for a CUDA. I got a Hemi CUDA sitting there, 71, or either an AER CUDA 70. I'm jumping to the AER CUDA.
I would.
Oh yeah. Well, I like the round tail lights on the 70. They just look killer on that thing.
Yeah. So I'm I just think the 70 is a better looking car.
Yeah.
Kind of like 69 Mustang and the 70 Mustang. I mean, I go back and forth, but 3 days out of the week I would pick a 70, where 4 I would pick the 69.
Yeah. Myself, I would go 70 because that's the year I was born. So, but yeah, I like how Stacy did that with that 81 Z28 and made it look like a 70.
It's cheaper. You probably can you can still get those 80 Z28s for something reasonable.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be a Z28 if you're gonna go that far. Just get a regular 80 Camaro, but
this one,
something like that.
Yeah, this one just happened to be a Z28 that they rolled in, and he did all that sheet metal work. And he basically, the pitch he threw on it is, hey, you've always wanted a 70 Camaro, but you couldn't afford one. Yeah. Well, let's do this. And then he went into it, and I was like, wow, that guy's brilliant.
I love him. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Funny guy too.
He is.
Yeah, we had a good time at SEMA. We did him and Lewis.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him in person. I hope we make that trip down there this summer to his shop. That would be so cool.
Oh yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah. And Justin there, he can carry our bags for us. He can be the bag boy.
Yeah, but you got to carry his tool bags.
His tool bags, exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that a two-handed job or a one-handed job?
Yeah, if you
depends on who you're asking.
Yeah, if you can do
balance one on your head.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna head on off. I gotta put this little boy to bed. He's got school tomorrow.
All right, Terry.
I see him.
See you, Terry. Take care, man. Love you, brother.
Back at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna head off too.